Hey, what's going on, everyone? Astrologer Eric Rosen here, and this is that monthly sun and rising sign horoscope that I do for all 12 signs. So if you know your sun sign and your rising sign, and I suggest looking at both because I think combining both horoscopes is really effective for getting an understanding of some of this major astrology that's coming here in the month of July that I'm going to be talking about. It's worth looking at both. But before I get into that, I do want to say if you want to get a personal astrology reading to go deeper, that actually looks at how your natal chart's being impacted by this transit astrology to get to a very clear individual level to give you real-time guidance with any of the challenges, shifts that you're experiencing in life, what's going on. I'm not in Kansas anymore. I'm trying to figure this shit out. I got stuff that I want to create and a sense of purpose and, just your manifestations that you're wanting to do. We're in this like newer off-roading territory collectively. And so there's a lot of freedom in that, but it can also bring up a lot of fear and a lot of like, what's the new like look like how do we do this? And so that offer to support you on that individual level stands. And then reading, of course, includes looking at the deeper chart layers as well, subconsciously, like solar arc progress, yada yada, to support that reclamation of self, because getting unstuck and getting on your way is a good thing. Also, my higher self group coaching program is available. That's something that I'm going to be launching depending on how fast people sign up. In July, I'm doing a legacy pricing for that. So if you sign up before July 7th for $297, as long as you want to stay in the group, doing the higher self group coaching, you can get that for $297 per month. And what that is I'll be doing a different teaching topic every week with people, but also there's going to be hot seat coaching where I'm going to coach you in the group. I'm going to be channeling the Arcturians, my higher self, maybe pull from the astrology, basically just bringing the best that I have to offer you to help you get clarity. And so for some people, doing my 3 or 6 month coaching, healing, mentorship programs that I offer may not be price effective. And so the higher self group coaching is a great commodity for that. And of course, that 3 and 6 month opportunities is available as well for people that want to work with me individually. So if you're interested in any of those, just drop a comment. That's just the way the algorithms are working nowadays. It's better to private message or do it after the fact, just the external links to things like astrology readings, the group coaching, the individual coaching, that sort of thing. So let's talk about this. The big thing here in July for all signs, most definitely Uranus going into Taurus. We have not seen this in 84 years. This is big change. This is a big shift in the terms of the outer planets all being in the signs that they were all destined to like go into, that like dates the remarkability of like why 2025, 2026 is so crazy intense for the change and the fast moving energy of like the shifting of the world, but how also the creatives, the light workers, the entrepreneurs too. It's like if you know how to like keep your feet on the ground like through it all, it can be a really positive time for advancement and moving forward, moving your family forward, moving your business forward, moving basically just this, it's a higher dimensional way of freedom and existing and expressing more of what our souls came here to express. Like it's like the red tape's like fully lifting now. And so really it's just our own selves and our own programming and just where people are at different levels, like getting in the way of this. So Uranus coming into Gemini this month, and then also a slew of retrogrades. So maybe somewhat unfortunate. It all depends how you look at it. You got Neptune going retrograde in Aries, Saturn retrograde in Aries, Mercury retrograde in Leo, and Chiron retrograde in Aries. So Neptune, Saturn, and the asteroid that is Chiron going retrograde in Aries, the sign that deals with like progressing forward, like it's a slowdown. It's a having to go within. And Mercury being in Leo retrograde, the fire sign of masculinity, of the heart, the courage, the passion, the slowness of that, and having to review those situations, and probably potentially like romantic kid situations, children. This can be less to be desired for those that want to go full speed ahead, because when you get planets retrograde, it's a review. It's just part of it. And I think this Neptune, Saturn, Chiron retrograde in Aries is going to really put it in people's faces, like that. I know we all like to have the idea of free will and choosing our own timing based upon the calendar system, but the divine timing of it says it's way harder, like, to advance forward, like, with things, because you're replaying the tape of like prior months of like what you have been doing and the actions like being taken. So that's going to be the really interesting thing in like this month that I'll cover for all 12 signs. But I'll talk a little bit just collectively about Uranus and Gemini. I will say that I did put out the weekly celestial conversations yesterday. That's up. So is the prior video that I did. So I started talking about the remarkability of Uranus and Gemini for these next couple of months. But what I do want to say is don't, I've said this before, it's like, don't fear the reaper, don't fear the change, don't fear the transformation that's coming, because it's Pluto in Aquarius, and the sign that rules Aquarius, Uranus, coming into Gemini. This is a lot of change that we're going to have to process mentally, air signs, and it's quick. It's going to feel like it's happening quick. It's going to feel like it's going to hit every sector of the world and society, and kind of have this like really widespread shock sometimes. But also it's like, is it that shocking? Because if like you've been reading the writing on the wall, the tea leaves, it's just like we've already been seeing it. This is just where it becomes more in the face, more commonplace, and it's technology, it's AI, but interacting with the rest of the astrology though too, it's a lot of stuff about conflict and war and who do we want to be. Like, it's kind of like this idea of like, who do you want to be when you grow up? It's like, be that now, like choose it now, so to speak. Like, you can be your own hero in your own tale. Like, you don't have to like let any of the stuff slow you down. Like, there's tools, there's opportunities for innovation and growth that are available in a lot of ways, like with this astrology that's coming. So, but let's talk about this on more of the individual level. All 12 signs. So starting with Aries. So Aries sun, Aries rising. This is Uranus coming into your third house. So this is about changing your mind about stuff. The way that you've been thinking about things and how you identify the facts of situations. This is having to get used to the excitement of seeing that there's two really extreme sides of the coin, of the talisman, if you will. It's like you could go like to one far end of the spectrum, but then have to kind of like cover like the other end too, and kind of find that middle ground, like in your thinking. This deals with people situations. So this is like being like not so hasty to like to judge and condemn, you know, like situations and communication stuff like with people. It's way more about, can you be okay with like the neutrality of like a more inclusive like mindset of things, of like, you don't know people's backgrounds fully or like where they're coming from. Like, this deals with like empathy for the common man, you know, common man, common woman, common child, like more of a bigger, broader, like higher sense of like understanding things. And so like in your own personal life, this can kind of be like the shock of like mentally going like, whoa, like I'm kind of like seeing things like in a new way that can feel kind of maybe sideways. Like, you're used to seeing things, you know, reminds me of like in portrait mode, and all of a sudden like everything flips to like landscape mode. And so it's like seeing things like differently. It's like tilting your head and seeing it like with a different frame. And so the positive of it is that the ascension process, the evolution, the like moving forward energy for you on the personal level for these next like few months is going to be how you look at things. It's your perspective in life. It's how you communicate. It's how you see that you can analyze the data and the facts and like what's showing up in your circumstances, but being okay with like pulling back and like thinking more outside the box about like what's actually like occurring, and seeing like that there is a very like positive like element to it, like because this can be like sudden changes and just like what you're used to like on an everyday like basis. Like you could literally even see this like more long term for this transit, maybe not the next couple of months, but like a sudden change like in your neighborhood, like dealing with like neighbor situations, like some people that you're used to being around and you want to get like closer to them and connect more, and certain people that you want to disconnect from. And it's going to deal a lot with stimulation, like not being bored, like that person's not that fun to be around, but you know, doesn't mean that you know, start a conflict like with them over it. It's more just like, okay, I'm disconnecting, I'm going over here now, because like that's what Aquarius energy like teaches, and Uranus, it's like I'm disconnecting from this situation that's not really fun, stimulating, eccentric, Uranus and Gemini. And so the Pluto part in Aquarius, you know, too, it's like, don't like get stuck in situations with people. Don't get stuck in like the like power struggles like with others, because like you're more here, Aries, to like be like yeah, power to the people. Like let's talk about how we can think more inclusive, but like still rational like with it. I think the retrogrades overall, because it's in your sign, like Saturn, Neptune, Chiron all retrograding in your sign, and then in your 5th house that Mercury retrograde, like this is because the retrogrades are a review period. In short, it's a review of like your own self-love. Like I would be looking at this like if there's like more the negative struggles like coming up in your thinking or communication stuff with others, that it's more so about like, hey, like is your cup full? Like how's your self-love? Like do you know how to like kind of just own your avatar of who you are and how you're like showing up, and then self-love piece and like having fun. And it's like, because these are transits like saying like, hey, if you know how to be yourself and have fun, like do you really have time to start wars with people and, you know, stupid shit? Or can it be like as you're going about like living your best life that you're just appreciating others like for how they show up differently? And so that's the more inclusive, all-inclusive mindset. It's like how to like not throw shade, how to see people, oh, this person's here, that person's there, okay, that's cool. This is about being like more cool with people, right? Like that you don't have anything to like prove by setting like crazy standards like for where people should like be at, and then like communicating that and like foaming at the mouth like over it or something, you know, and like self-righteousness like pieces of it. It's going to be way more about kind of a live and let live concept, but it's like more so like how the people that are meant to, I think, cross your path during this time, that where it can seem like random or like a surprise and they just like show up, you know, it's like they show up in your phone. It's like the surprise phone call. It's like the text message. Like it could have been someone that you used to know, and all of a sudden they just like, surprise, like I'm back again or whatever. And maybe you don't want to deal with it. Maybe you do, but it's like looking at it as like every person now that crosses your path, like there's a synchronicity to it. And it doesn't mean that you have to like get crazy detective like, ooh, why is this person like showing up? I think it's more about how to like look at it through the lens of like, oh, okay, that's cool. Like this person showed up. Curiosity. I wonder what this is about. Because your best friend for you, for the evolution of like where you're going and just like moving into like these positive horizons that deal with like your future of the direction that you're choosing and the person you're becoming and the fun life that can be, is very much like dealing with your ability to stay curious, the optimism of things, like not getting, like it's the hermeticism, it's neutrality. It's like there's no room to judge, you know, because it'll just be a stressor for you. It'll be stressful. It's like stress, drama, delays. Because the hard part with the retrogrades in your sign is you're already going to be dealing with kind of like maybe wanting more, like wanting more, wanting to be able to take more action, wanting to like plow forward, but it feels like there's like a sticking point that's like very Neptune, Saturn, Chiron, like retrograde, where it's like things are still going to move forward, like, but the moving forward is almost like a weird wound illusion where it's like it's more so you receiving from the actions that you've been already taking the past few months and just like kind of keeping the conveyor belt of life going. So for whatever shows up for you, just like see it as like that the world is just your oyster and it's just a reflection of opportunities that, you know, to help you get on track, like with yourself. Like it's just being careful not to fall into like people issues with that, Aries. I'm gonna pull cards for the signs today. If you want to go deeper than that, Aries, you can drop a comment, an emoji, message me for a link for astrology reading, personal astrology reading to go deeper, and or the higher self group coaching as well, or individual coaching. So you got the High Priestess, but it's in the reversal position. So it's kind of tough because I think the positive of it is like it's Neptune retrograde, it's in your sign. So I think part of the math for you of like figuring things out within yourself is like how to access your intuition better. I think accessing that inner level of intuition and how it's all being like reprogrammed with Neptune not being in Pisces right now and being in Aries in your sign, it's the intuition in yourself, like to not let the mind decide like why things are the way that they are, like trying to like communicate or force a change or situation or overanalyze a people's situation. It's like access your intuition. Like honestly, like with Saturn in your sign and Chiron there too, like the recovery and the healing for you, like through this whole month, is really going to be accessing like a more sturdy, reliable sense of your intuition. And so whether that's like through human design or, you know, it's like clearing the chakras and like getting your crown chakra like really like dialed in and just being mindful about the frequencies that you're around and the people that you're around. And it's not about like negativity or criticism. It's more so just about just the mindfulness of the energy that you're in and that you're letting around and keep your field clean so that you can stay more sharp and more intuitive. So not a bad month, Aries. It's just being mindful of the shifts and changes that you're going through on a personal level. And honestly, like I would just see it as like situations with people and communicating and being open and vulnerable is like a really good thing and a positive thing for you moving forward. On to Taurus, so bulls, Sun Taurus, Sun rising Taurus. It's late here. I don't ever do these this late, but here we are. Taurus, this is your second house. Uranus and Gemini, it's in your second house. And so that's kind of a hallelujah moment in a way because Taurus energy is second house, right? Like plow the fields, the consistency. And so Uranus in Gemini for you, the reason Gemini is your second house is because part of your consistency is just doing like the little things and talking to people and like just being basic with the facts of life in order to like create the quality things of life that are good. And so like the evolution, the ascension process, and for you is going to be like just that. I think this is going to involve like you're probably going to need to like up level your communication, probably like through technology and things like that, to create the more like quality things. Like it's going to be kind of one of those things, like whatever it is that is like your creation of like whatever you do for money, or however even the ways that you use of communication, like they gotta upgrade. They can't be like outdated. It would be like, hey, like call me or text me or whatever. And like, it's like, that's so rotary phone, it's like, why don't we, it could literally be meeting in person more. It could be like FaceTiming. It's like, there's just different ways of communication, like to utilize the technology that's available. That could go like a more AI, artificial intelligence, like route of things, like with your creations, but it's really just about enhancing the quality of things. What it is about driving your point home, your communications home. It's like being sound, being sturdy, like being consistent and reliable, and even stubborn, and like getting your like point across, and not like in like a crazy neurotic way, but just like in a way of like going, okay, there's this like really open field of possibilities, and there's so many different ways to like do things and create and make magic and make money and make yourself feel good and your self-worth and all of it, and even vice versa, like help people feel good about their self-worth. So that could be a part of like what you're creating too. But it's like not getting too stubborn and resistant to the change and like overwhelmed and being like, oh my God, it's too much. I got to figure out too many little things. There's too many outside the box things. It's like the tough part would be like not knowing where to start, right? Like it would be like, I got a jigsaw puzzle over here, but you're a Taurus, so it's like, I got a blanket over here. I'm just gonna go put the blanket on and just like, you just tell me when this AI shit's over. And it's like, nope, sorry, bitch. You gotta figure it out. You're gonna have to figure it out. Like you're gonna have to figure out like how to find a new level of stubbornness that you've never seen before. And that stubbornness is going, well, this is where the world's going. Like it's being okay with like the trends and going, okay, I'm a bull and I'm used to like plowing the field this way, but like I see where the winds are changing, the weather's changing, like I need to go this way, or I need to go take shelter, I need to go do that. Like, cause it's like, it's also the unpredictability of Uranus, right? So it's like, it's not just like plowing it in one way, the consistency, the approach of doing things in the same old way that you're familiar with. It's having to not only change it and innovate it, to try new ways of thinking and approaches to your life, just all across the board of everything that you know. But it's also like, it's not having the perfect formula that you can like fixate onto, like, oh, this is the thing now because tomorrow it'll be different. Like it's literally like, it deals with your mood, believe it or not. Like it's like how the weather patterns like change, like, oh, okay, this like it's raining or it's like cloudy out, we got to do this indoors. And so it's like being okay with the flexibility of having to pivot. That's the tough part about Uranus in your second. It's like, it's not wanting to pivot. It's like wanting to go like, no, like I want it to go this way. Like this is the consistent like thing, and this is how I do it. This is what my mind is used to. And so you're having to upgrade your thinking capacity to go, well, what's the most important thing here, right? Like it's the quality. And not only is it like the quality of like what it is that you're doing and the change to that you're creating, but it's also like the people that you're gonna meet, but also like talking with the people that you already like know, like to like work on projects, like to get things done, because it's also really putting it in your face about like, hey, like in order to create like your best quality work and get it out to the world, to just experience a better quality reality, like you need the conversations and people connections. And so it doesn't matter if people are coming or going, or if they're new, or that you already knew them, or that you're already familiar with them. It's really more so about having just like the clear enough mindset of understanding the new trajectories, the horizons that you need to rise to, and going and creating those things and seeing like those people are there, and there's people everywhere that also have skill sets that maybe are too much on the fringes of what you feel capable of, and then needing to talk to that person and like figure those things out. And so you're a good poster child, I would say, for this energy that we're headed into, like collectively, where it's like, hey, you know, in order to get things done, like you can't just be like a one-man band. It's staying like fixed and going like, well, I'm fixed on stubborn for like whatever the change is that I need to like create my best ship, create the best quality stuff, have the best quality relationships. I'm down. Like I'm game. Like it's like, this is like an old Jersey Shore thing. It's like being DTF, you know, for like your best quality like life creations. It's a life that you can become familiar with, like the change that's actually positive, because it's not being afraid of it. It's because Uranus and Gemini, like the way that's like this coin, but it's like second house and you're a bull. It's like you got to keep it positive and you got to keep it moving forward and go with the winds of change, because if you resist it, you're stubborn, you're inconsistent, you don't want to change, like that's where the bull like slips and loses its footing, and then you got to like do all this stuff to like try to like get back on track and like catch up with the trends and like feel like you're not falling behind. And so these retrogrades with Neptune, Saturn, Mercury, Chiron, this is all dealing very much with you getting, I would say it's more comfortable with God, goddess, the divine connection with things, because this is like stuff that's hitting in your fourth house, your 12th house. And so it's like there's this intuitive nature for understanding what you could do better to move forward, to make better choices, better actions that are more intuitive, that are more like clear mentally, emotionally. It's kind of like sitting with like the big energy like upstairs and getting more comfortable like with that. So there's not like a rush during this month, Taurus, for you to figure that out. You're going to be reviewing the choices that you've already made, but then also like how you can like come to a more divine understanding of things. And it's not divinity and like the dualistic aspect of sorts like so much. It's more so just like soul alignment and your intuitive alignment like within yourself. And so the nice thing is that the people, the conversations, like new projects or new ways to approach projects, that's all going to be like ripe for the picking and available for kind of like your practice of like how to better assert your energy, how to like better communicate, how to better express, how to be more intuitive and like not trip on your own, you know, shoelaces and be stubborn like for the wrong reasons, and actually find some more clear level-headed thinking that allows you to express yourself. And so is, you know, also too, just Taurus, like getting out of clown town with like too many distractions and making sure you're not like thinking about things that like don't make sense, because this honestly is the time for you to like really be stubborn and commit to like a bigger like goal that is in society, that's a problem that you solve and that you're figuring out the solution. Because it's not about just like being stimulated and doing projects and talking to people just for the sake of it to stay like busy and keeping your mind busy. It's more so about like you have an end goal in mind. It's Pluto in your 10th house. So I would pay attention to that, Taurus. If you want to go deeper than that, I will pull a card for you. Deeper than that, you can book a personal astrology reading to go into your natal chart and how the transits are hitting there. You can message me for that link or drop a comment. Just let me know. You got the Wheel of Fortune card, so this is good. Major Arcana upright. It's, you know, the winds of change are here. Like, you're supported. The universe is supporting you. It's like the wheel in the sky is like turning. This isn't about, you know, feeling like there's any like specific thing that you need to do. I think there's positive blessings like coming for you, Taurus, but you got to make sure that you're not being stubborn for the wrong things, the wrong mindsets, like thinking that you have to have some type of like more, no, it can only be this way, or this one way of like my thinking, or this is how I've identified that it should look. It's like, hey, the universe has got better ideas of connections of people and moving you into spaces that are better for you. So just like, you got to notice when those opportunities are coming up and like not sabotaging them based upon some like religious programmed, I say that metaphorically, but it's like, this is how it should be, like this is how I feel comfortable, or, this is the way that I'm used to approaching it. Stay open to those opportunities, Taurus. Moving on to Gemini. So Gemini, this is Uranus coming into your first house, right? This is activating you. You've had Uranus in the 12th house since 2018. And so there's been some, abundant spiritual protection there on a prosperous level. And, no matter how stubborn it's been, like levels of spiritual awakening and needing to figure out how to connect more in relationships and people. And so like now this is about like you being the magnet of change. Like this is about you rising to an occasion that you've never been asked to go to before. You just had a year of Jupiter in your sign. So like that was more about like, yeah, put yourself out there more, be more sociable, like be brave and, expand. But like now this is about expanding into your connections, like with people for sure. But it's like, do you know how to like be solid enough in yourself and own who you are like fully, that you don't like go with the crowd, but it's also like not trying to overly like control the situation or the narrative of like being the leader to like get people to like do a group thing based upon like how you see things. It's more so about the impartiality, the neutrality of you like being like, hey, this is me, this is how I see things, this is how I think, but also my thinking about how I see myself spiritually, how I connect with people, that's all in flux. It's all evolving. Like, it's like kind of like a humbleness of being like, well, this is exciting, but being okay with like some of the stuff that I thought that I knew for sure about myself is just really not exactly how I identified and like what I thought that it was. But that's a good thing. It's a new exciting thing because it can take you to new places. And so it's like being that humble human that knows how to show up in groups of people and be around people and have conversations that it's like, hey, what do you know? Like what's up with you? Like what's going on in your world? Like you're a really good person in the Zodiac this month for like looking at it like, hey, like I just want to talk with people and just like find out information, but I want to share information like too. And it's like you're actually going to gain a greater understanding about like what you're here to do next and the next directions that you're meant to go, like how to help people, like problem solution like thinking and things that you offer the world. But you got to be okay with like talking to people and like finding out like what's up with them, because the crazy thing about Uranus going into your sign is I think you're going to realize where you thought people were at, like what they needed, and vice versa for you. Like it's changing. Like it's not what you thought it was. Like the offerings different. Like the needs are different. Your desire for security in yourself is suddenly changing, and how others see you, right? There might be some people that, you're used to being around. It's like all of a sudden they're like not there, or they become like distant. So it's like not become alarmed because it's making space for like random synchronistic connections of people that you haven't connected with yet, or maybe it's been a minute. But it's all going to be based upon, do you know how to like follow like your own personal synchronicities that are just familiar to you, to like build off of like what you already like know, like how you connect intuitively and just how you build those bridges like within your own mental understanding, your understanding of those synchronicities, but then also like seeing how one thing leads to the next So this is a lot about like connecting the dots, like with your actions, and like it would be a good practice to pay attention to that and reflect on that at the end of every day. Like, oh, like when I followed this synchronicity and I took this action, it led me to this person and this thing and this idea and this thought, and like then it led to this and this and this. But then seeing it like the flip of the negative too, like this is what happens when I am hesitant, you know, where I'm like, wait, that's too unknown, or that's too unpredictable, or I can't assert myself that way. I can't like think or talk that way, you know, that's a little like too crazy pants. And so it's like you're here to be flexible, and it might seem a little weird to say this, but like it's like, hey, if there's a play going on stage in a theater, and whether it's audition, real thing, doesn't matter, but it's like they're short actors and they're asking you to play multiple parts, multiple characters. This is actually an okay time, Gemini, to like wear different hats, like be different characters. It doesn't make you schizo. It just means that you know how to like deal with like change. When change comes up and you're being asked like take this action, go this direction, like be this person, right? It's not being like a chameleon for people. Like it could be that, but that's only like if you're like the less evolved Gemini. And I'm not trying to put anyone down, but it's like if you're, it's 2025, like you've had 5 years to like get the clues, you know, of like what's going on in the world and how like things don't like work like how we thought. If you haven't figured that out right now, you're in your basic Gemini. That's cool, that's fine, but like, you know, no judgment, no shade, but it's like if you've been paying attention and you've been evolving and going through what definitely since 2018 was a big fat prosperous invitation for a spiritual awakening, Uranus going through your 12th in Taurus, like now's the time to just see the change more within yourself. Like I will tell you that my experience when as a Taurus, when I experienced this in 2018, when Uranus came out of my 12th house and crossed into my rising Taurus, like it went from this like incubation state to like, whoa, this spiritual shit's real. So like whatever it is that you've been doing in your life where you're like, ooh, spirituality or whatever, like it's way more real now. Like you're gonna have to like actually go out and connect and talk with people and be courageous like with that and whatever it is that you feel called to do. These retrogrades that are happening this month, you got Saturn, Neptune, Chiron in Aries happening in your 11th house, and then that Mercury retrograde in Leo, let's see, that's happening in your 3rd. So it's like, I would look at this as like, if for some reason you've been in like people-pleasing mode the past few months, this is the time to clean that stuff up. This is going to be the review of like, I look at this all as like how to just be more authentic in your expression, just putting it out there like it's neutral. It's like, hey, this is my passion, this is how I show up, like this is what I'm connected to. I was so weird. I just got the taste of ayahuasca in my mouth. It was so random. Ugh. During a horoscope, bro. Weird. I'll have to look into that. But I would say, I mean, maybe you need to do some plant medicine, Gemini. I don't know. Like, maybe it's time for an upgrade, like in that way. Because, you know, crazy outside the box, like ideas for thinking about like this new approach to the world, society, how you show up and how your like mind thinks. It would be good to have like a really interconnected approach, you know, that things like plant medicine brings up. Tanya, I'm here. LOL. Maybe that's why, Tanya. Thanks for that. That's so funny. So, I mean, Gemini, I think it's positive. I think this is a good month for you. You're just going to have to get used to like the change that you're being asked to just be a different version of yourself, but like sometimes have to get used to different aspects of yourself that you didn't know were like accessible. Like this is like accessing the control panel like of your mind and like who you are and how you identify and going like, whoa, I didn't know that I was capable of like expressing myself and doing that spiritually. Like, that's crazy. My guides are asking me to be this or do this now. And it's nothing that you could predict or like are prepared for. And that's also what makes it fun and exciting. But it's just like being okay with that. If you're trying to just be, you know, your friendly neighborhood Gemini and keeping everything basic and copacetic and it's all familiar, like that's not going to go well. You got to be okay with like being the Gemini. It's like, hey, like, you know, I'm used to like hanging out, you know, just with my neighbors and I never, you know, like not leaving my hometown or whatever, but you're being asked to go where you need to go and connect to who you need to connect to and talk to who you need to talk to. And you gotta trust it. You gotta go with like what's clicking, because I guarantee there's gonna be a reprogramming of asking to follow those synchronistic light bulb moments more, you know, because it could actually be dramatic if you're trying to like stay too, like it becomes like hostile, like if you're trying to like play it too small, too safe. Like it's expansion, but it's expansion in the way of like the divine mean, like go talk to this person, go talk to that person. Like you're a good communicator, you're a good listener, like you know how to like, you know, have fun, be stimulating, entertain people, be entertained by. So reminds me of like being like a little firefly, like flying around, buzzing around, you know, connecting. So if you want to go deeper than that, Gemini, I am going to pull your card, but you can comment below or message me for a link to book a personal astrology reading to see what's really going up for you on an individual level through your natal chart, these transits. This, of course, is the astrology just for your, you know, your sun, your rising sign. You got Ace of Wands, so bring the passion, Gemini, light it up. Catch some fire. It's Uranus in your rising. It's in your sign, so, you know, take it to the bank, whatever it is that you're passionate about. It's not that you got to go through like a complete like facelift or change. You already know the things that you're passionate about. I think it's just about do the things that you still like love to do. It's just like different approaches to like how you're doing it and allowing yourself to be excited by it, you know, and like let your passions like change you as you're going through the experience and doing them and bringing people into the passion, you know, like draw a crowd, light some sparks, like show people how to have fun and, you know, don't like fall for this like fake Truman Show Matrix doldrum reality that try to make it seem like where the only fire, passion, intensity is like over war or conflict or something. And it's like there's plenty of room for better, more positive, you know, creative things. I mean, let's see, you got Jupiter in your second house, right? Create. Speaking of Cancer, moving on to Cancers. Cancer Sun, Cancer Risings. Uranus going into Gemini this month. This is your 12th house. So your spiritual protection is here, right? But you have to have faith. Like your safety spiritually, like on a personal level for you, is going to come from, do you know how to like tune your mind to like have faith like in a higher power, you know? And it doesn't matter what that like really looks like. If anything, maybe you might be, depending on like what type of Cancer you are, like, okay, I connect with God or I do it through religion. That's cool, whatever. Like, or I connect through it spiritually, or usually I pray to, I don't know, fucking Kali Ma, now I pray to Jesus, whatever it is. It's like different ways of connecting spiritually to access that like in that antenna, that intuitive like side of you. Don't go starting cults during this time with Uranus in your 12th in Gemini, like trying to get people to like drink the same like Kool-Aid or something like that. Like you haven't figured out enough. Because it's interesting, Cancer, because with the retrogrades all being mostly in your 10th house, Aries, Saturn, Chiron, Neptune. This is kind of like a pause, like on self-authorship, self-leadership, to like review where you can get the slop out of your life and be a better expression of your character, like out in the public eye. You know, like I've seen some cancers that kind of like, I'm like, are you okay? Like you're a little intense. Like, I don't know if you need to push people that way. So it's like Uranus in the 12th, I think, is going to be helpful for finding a more graceful, compassionate, neutral way of like looking at what's going on in the world, in your environment, with the people that you know. Like, it's seeing that like you can be a good leader, but it's also like, what do you do when there's problems, when there's conflict, where there's drama and there's things that need to be figured out, because it can't just be all like pusher energy and just like pushing your agenda like onto people, like when it's not going like your way. And like those ways of communicating, it's not so much of a softening of communication, it's more just like an understanding that, yeah, maybe that person's like not telling the truth and they're hiding something, or maybe you're hiding something, right? It's the 12th house. It's where things can hide, and hidden conversations and gossip and just like weird shit like that. But you're better off like not stressing yourself out and like short circuiting like what's real, not real, and who's saying what, or what's going on like with those things, by just going, well, like it'll show up if it's meant to show up. Like it'll reveal itself if it reveals itself. I don't need to go like hunting for it. It's just gonna like show up. Like the facts are gonna show up. And so that's the same thing in your thinking. Like you don't need to go the wild goose chase, like piecing together like these crazy existential questions of like, what is God? What is humanity? You know, like you don't need to go like full-blown hermit monastery to figure out the secrets of the world, of the universe, and become the person that needs to talk about it, because that's like some like level of safety that you're trying to create, that like if you understand more that somehow that's making things better. If anything, it's like if you're not following your intuitive side, it's going to lead you to dead ends that could make you feel like crazy and like, why'd I go here? Why'd I connect with this person? So it's like a lot of this is like speaking to like stay like grounded and stable and like the approaches that you know that are working, and just like learn to build off of like what's already like been working, and that's like clearly advancing things forward in your physical reality. And like for any delays or things that like didn't work, or challenges, especially like with your career life, that it's like, okay, let me like work on that. And so it's more so about like tuning your focus and attention and intuitive energy to the things that you could actually make practical sense of, and like not drifting away from things that really are just, you know, they're a distraction. Like, you know, it's just too out there. It's just maybe like, ooh, it's the shiny object. It's the bright, shiny thing to look at that like feels stimulating, but it's the dopamine hit that like it'll last for a little bit, but then like it feels good and it can be fun and exciting, but then you have to like go, wait, what? Like, am I doing my work? Am I really keeping up with my responsibilities and my commitments? Because that's like a huge part of this. But overall, I think the career, there's a career piece in these retrogrades where it's like, it is looking at like, what have you built in your career, at least the past like few months, maybe years. It depends on like what shifts, decisions that you made, if there was any pivots that you did like career-wise, because you've been seeing so much happening in your 10th house. And so initiating like new starts or sticking with the same thing has been your prerogative, Cancers. And so it's the review of like, how'd you do? Your career, your legacy, how you put yourself in the public eye, like what you've built. And so I think Uranus is going to give you an opportunity to peer more into like, you could call it the all-seeing eye, the eye of God a little bit, to like see the facts and the clarity and the details a little bit like easier and more simply, if you know how to like get your mind like kind of like in more of that kind of like peaceful, calm, meditative state, because like the divine's going to want to like show you some like intense stuff. It could like literally be like more spiritual awakening, third eye awakening stuff, but it's like knowing how to like steady your mind and focus it, that you know how to like go into like the meditation or however it is that you access like more of a hermit space where you know how to like disconnect from like everything going on in the world and get the higher perspective, to like tune into your higher mind, to get more of that knowledge of like, oh, okay, like there's this fact, this person said this, or this is happening with these groups of people, or I feel this way, but then there's always going to be like a higher octave, like a different, higher, more positive, like beautiful way of like looking at the facts, of looking at the conversations that are going on, of looking at really just the stuff that's just going on in your reality in general. So pull a card for you, Cancer, but if you want to go deeper than that, you want to book a personal astrology reading, look at how the transits are hitting your natal chart, some other deeper chart layers, personal astrology reading, drop a comment, drop an emoji, message me. That's how the algorithms are working nowadays. I don't just go posting it everywhere now. Leos. Leo suns, Leo risings. Rawr, the lions. Lion, lioness. Well, Uranus in your 11th house. Gemini. That's a good thing. 11th house is Aquarius energy. That's where Uranus is at home at. So there's a familiarity, I think, that you're going to feel with this transit, even though it's like you've never felt it before. But you could think of this as like, oh yeah, like kind of like the understanding already as a Leo that it's like people be people, and you know, like Leos want to shine and be seen and do their thing, and you look around and you're like, yeah, people do some crazy stuff, you know. So like now Uranus is here to be like, cool, like now what do you do with that? Like how do you like actually use that for your evolution and rising up to higher ways of understanding like why people do what they do? Like you're actually in a good position to kind of like run the experiments for understanding groupthink. Why do people think the way that they do? Like, you know, it's like, it's interesting because like Aquarius is your 7th house and Pluto's there. And so with Uranus, that ruler of your 7th house, being in the 11th, like you're most definitely like dealing with an intense electrical charge and intensity of the electricity of just like thinking and excitement and stimulation, and maybe even like too much with people. And so understanding like people's motives, people's motivations, like why they think the way that they do, like it doesn't have to be like something that you tell people that you're doing. It's just kind of like being the observer of people. It's not like people watching, like judgy. It's more just like this group of people, and it doesn't matter. It could be anything. It'd be like this religion, this like political party, like these people that want this social justice over here. It's like getting an understanding of like their psychology, almost like Jungian psychology. Like why do they do that? And it's more curiosity, because what that benefits is that you can be the Leo that like kind of holds the light up of like love comes first, but also like keep the peace like with people. Like don't be the Leo that like stirs the pot and starts drama. But the more that these people situations like show up for you to kind of assess if there's anything that like is more valuable like to you, that's like more meaningful, like to understand like the people that you're more connected to or familiar with, that you'll be able to like apply that same understanding. Because it's like what's tough is that Virgo's your 2nd house where the South Node is at. So it's like trying to understand like your closer relationships, like manifestation, like money stuff, like the stability stuff, and any like fixing or just like things not working the way that you want to around that, you're not able to like really go in and directly like fix that. It's been more about like how do you get to like the more spiritual truth that's like more compassionate, and it's kind of like the surrender and going more into your power. It's like kind of like a spiritual magnetism. And so like if you can use this as a period of time to like accept people where they are, but like understand them more, it's almost like your heart can expand and grow and like kind of have like an appreciation for people and just their struggles, their challenges, what they go through. Like help the people that you can help, as long as like you've got the skills to do it. Don't try to help anyone that's like, it's just not your wheelhouse. You're not gifted or skilled in that area. It's like help the people where you're really powerful, like in helping them. And so that expansive heart energy of appreciation for where people are at, how they think, it can revolutionize you. It can revolutionize like how you see the world, how you think about the world. Like it actually makes you a better person, because your evolution actually is through people now. It's through your partnerships. So it's like, it's not getting yourself psyched up in the mirror and just like being a Leo and just like roaring and going out and getting it. It's going to be, how do you connect now? Like this is going to be definitely looking at, there's a social aspect to it. It's socializing, but it's also like not going on the hunt to socialize. It's more so just like, how do you handle your business when you're connecting just with strangers and like everyday people and those sort of things. Like what this really brings up, Leo, is like this idea of like, if you want to be a good spiritual person or a light worker and all that, you know, it's the moments where there could be like a trigger or like a loss of peace or too much shit going on and being like, I don't really want to deal with that. That's like too much. It's too much stuff with people. But it's like the more that you know how to like handle that in a more diplomatic way, like that rises to the occasion. And it's like it's situations where it's like you can intuitively know like what's the right thing to do here. Like this spiritual MacGyver of like, this is how I can help people. This is how I can help this person. Or maybe I'm not able to help that person, or that's not my wheelhouse or whatever. So it's like being that good spiritual person, that light worker, when it comes up, right? Like you're being that light. It's not just like when it's like, well, I only want to, you know, do it if it's like valuable, you know, or if there's like a monetary like gain to it or something like that, because that's South Node and Virgo in the second. So it's like looking at it like, you don't have to overextend yourself. That's not what you're going to be asked to do this month. It's more so like, I'd say with the retrogrades in Aries and Leo, it's more about like, I would say it's like a self-belief and like, do you know how to have the patience that you're going to reach to where you want to reach, that like it's okay to go like help other people. Like if like something's being stubborn or a block or something's not moving forward that you're wanting for yourself, and it's just like not showing up, like can you believe that like it's going to shift and that you'll figure it out, and then you've got like the goods and the skills and just everything to like move it forward, that it's kind of like a creating good karma thing. You know, like just like letting energy move. Like you got a lot in the tank, you've got a lot to give. So it's like, just like give it, like, but trust the boundaries, right? Trust what's not going to just like rock the boat. But I think it's a so-so month for you, Leo. It's just, because it's just weird, because it's like, you know, you're a Leo, like, your happiness, your love comes first, and the inspiration to show the world how to do that, and the creative, youthful energy of that. So some of this energy is dealing more with like, it's people, but it's society. It's people that, some of it, yeah, it's your relationships and your friends and your community, but it reminds me of like, what's the word? I can't think of it, but it's like it would be like if someone like went through a turnstile and it's like, oh yeah, that's my boy, that's my girl, that's my friend, but then like someone follows right with them and goes through the turnstile, two people at once, and it's like, oh, you brought your friend, like, oh, you brought this person. So it's like being mindful about that too, and like kind of patient with people. It's like they brought their posse or like whatever, and it's like, well, okay, like, and then you gotta like figure out like if they're cool, if you want to connect or not. So that's what I mean. It's like there's an empathetic approach to just like how people like approach things, and it can feel like kind of weird or kind of far out there to you, but it's not a bad thing. It's just that the learning curve is through people right now for you, Leo, and it's going to be that way for a hot minute. So I'll pull a card for you. If you do want to go deeper than that, you can book a personal astrology reading, drop a comment, emoji, message me for that booking link. I think I forgot to pull a card for Cancer, maybe. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I did. I owe you a card, Cancer. You got the Judgment card in the reverse position. So I think the positive of it is like, yeah, like you don't need to be like judgy of people. Like, but the Judgment card really isn't so much about judgment. It's more about the resistance of like the rising up and feeling like, I just don't know if I have it today. You know, it's like having to like kind of like muster up that energy a little bit, or it could be like pockets of your day. The stubbornness of the momentum with the South Node in Virgo in your second. And so I think that, I won't pull another card for clarification. Yeah, I think the King of Cups reverse, I think you need like just find the emotional fulfillment and see that there's, you know, it's not about like trying to like feel the passion or feel the emotional fulfillment or the intensity of like the way that you want to feel it, because it's probably not going to show up the way that you exactly would like it to. It's more so just about, it's going to be a lot of outside stuff that you're meant to respond to with the world and people. They can kind of like give you the spark to feel good about like what you're doing. It's not about like waiting for it to show up and then feeling good and then doing it. Virgos. Virgo Sun, Virgo Rising. So Virgos, this is Uranus going into your 10th house. So this is your career. Is it your 10th house? Why am I tripping here? I just want to, oh, I see what I did. Oh, fuck. I see what I did. Okay, we're good. So yeah, you know, Gemini is your 10th house, Virgo. So it's like, you've had Uranus going through your 9th house of your beliefs, expansion experiences like since 2018. And boy, has it been a crazy time of like the experiences that I'm sure that you've had that you probably never would have like probably picked based on your value system, but somehow like it ended up that way. So in somehow, some crazy way, you have to kind of like take all the, you know, milestone points of the most significant events since 2018 and take the positives of it and have a positive belief system built around it, that it was meant to go kind of the way that it was meant to go, like the randomness of it, and like take that and like now plug it into like something that you're focused on for your long term, right? Because you need that positive belief of your experience to go, okay, like this is what my focus is now. So your your career, your legacy, like whatever it is that you're meant to leave behind. This is your opportunity to kind of go, okay, well, you need like that big goal that's just like it makes sense. It makes sense for the experiences that you've already been through. Like this isn't like being like, I don't know, you were in the army and all of a sudden like you want to go be like a veterinarian. Like maybe you should, it's like stick to like the thing that like you're already kind of like used to, but like how to rise higher like with it, like how to build a skyscraper, like, and like work with the data points of what you've already been experiencing. Like it's not about going like in a crazy like new direction. If anything, it's more of like an initiation and a start of something that like it just somehow it led you here. Like it's just like the invitation, like this is the challenge, or this is the career thing, or this is what I'm doing now, or the career thing that you've already been familiar with, and you're just being asked to innovate in a new way. So it's going to be, I think your main commitment is just, it's knowing how to like, there's definitely a networking thing. Like it doesn't matter like what profession that you're in or like what you're doing in life. Like in order to like get things done and make things happen, you have to be really good at talking to people and networking. Your best bet is like to like less is more, like get your point across. Like you don't need to like overemphasize like the communication like piece of it. It's like focus on like what's your goal, what's your point that you need to get across, and see like where it lands, you know, because you're in this like space now where it's like just try things in a career. Like if you try enough things and you have enough conversations, eventually like you're at least getting the lessons and the experience and the actual like data to think about like what you can do better like in that space. So there's really no room for laziness, Virgo. Like that's the, you know, that's the thing. And I think that can be hard because like it's the south node in your sign, and so for every Virgo, there's probably some compartment of life where it's like not feeling your strength, but like, this is okay. This is just where it's like, you can talk with people and like get, it's like delegation, right? Like you don't have to like do it all or figure it all out. These retrogrades in Aries and Leo, there's a big hidden element here. Like it's landing in houses for you that are like more of the hidden, protective, private like sector of things. Like that Mercury retrograde in Leo in the 12th house, for example, Aries being your 8th house. And so if there's been stuff that you've kind of been hiding or been afraid to tackle, or it's like made you uncomfortable, it's like brought up like fear, and this could definitely be around connection. It could be connection with others, relationship stuff, like how much like solo, alone, personal time versus like connecting with others. This will come up. And so the easiest way to like figure out who's cool, who's not, like who do you need to spend time with, who's to say is like it's a waste of time. It's like, but the goal, like what's the goal? Like what is, like what it is, it's like the world's asking you to do something. Like you have something to offer the world. Like you're very smart, you're very intelligent. There's something that you have like it's like the worker in you. Like you have like some skill or just something that you know how to do to like get shit done. So it's like just have those conversations and help those people. So this is about like not being hesitant and be like, you know, I don't really want to go like do that. Or that seems hard, or man, that's a lot of responsibility. It's a lot of commitment. It's like good. Like your evolution is through commitment, responsibility, and it's the commitment and responsibility. Yeah, to people, but it's more like the stakeholders and the people that are connected to the goal. It's like you just kind of have to know like what your wheelhouse is, and I think you're going to be kind of like figuring that out, because yeah, you had so many experiences, Uranus going through your ninth house since 2018, and it probably gave you an opportunity to experience a lot of different like skills and abilities, and you try this and you try that, and it's like, well, I'm good at this and I'm okay at that, and maybe I kind of suck at that. So it might be like piecing together like the skills and everything that you learn to like funnel it into something that you could actually like make sense out of. But like that's the experiment, you know. You got the power to figure it out, and honestly, like, even though yeah, you're a Virgo, you're an analytical person, right, by nature, it's utilizing your intuitive side, or at least developing it further if you feel like that's like your weak link in the chain, to like help you decide like the strategic moves to make, because there's such a spiritual part of Uranus, and with it being in the 10th in Gemini, it's like saying like, hey, like it's not just about like making rational conscious decisions like that are more prudent and safe, and like thinking about the long term. It's like the long term, but knowing when to flip the switch on or off. Like, okay, hey, it's like take a risk, like flip the switch, do something eccentric, exciting, like out of the ordinary, versus like, okay, that would be too much. That doesn't make sense. That's too much of a risk. That doesn't make sense to do. So it's like, it's leaping when it makes sense to leap. And some of that's just going to be, you see the opportunity, but then it's also running it through your intuition too, Virgo. So I will pull a card for you if you want to go deeper than that. You can book a personal astrology reading, drop a comment, an emoji, or message me for that. And let's see what you got card-wise. Virgos. Oof. I don't hate any tarot card, but it's like my least favorite. But it's Five of Cups, so you know the significance of Five of Cups. Like there's five of them, three spilled, but there's still two. But it's like it's the mourning over what you don't have, the disappointment, the lack mentality. The glass is more, it's like half empty, not half full, right? But there's still some emotional fulfillment that you can have. And so I think you have to look at this as like, whatever's like led you to this point in life, and whatever you're excited about or not excited about, stuff that's happened in the past, the difficulties, the experiences, it's going like, okay, well, maybe like some things didn't work out. Maybe there were some missed opportunities. That's okay, right? Like, I think you're in a character development mode, like cycle. So I think it's like seeing like, hey, just go to your next step. Like take what's still there and what you got to work with, and just like make sense, break bread with it. Like use it as like nourishment of going like, okay, let me move on to my next step. Because the challenge / problem of Uranus in your 10th house is like there's going to be failures, and some of them you really can't control. Like they're unpredictable. Like it's like, I did everything right, and then the delivery still didn't come on time, or that person didn't hold up their end of the bargain or do their job, or they failed to communicate a change. And it's like there's going to be stuff outside your control. So it's like there's a leadership piece, and how do you respond, like versus like reacting. Like this deals with how you deal with power and how you communicate to people and how you're seen, and just like not tripping out, you know, because it's going to be like, it's like little failures too. Like, oh no, like the thing to win the day, like that was supposed to happen at 4 didn't, now it's 5, and now we got to go home. And it's like, well, whatever, the delivery will be there the next day, or the email will be there the next day. It's like life goes on. Like these aren't big failures. So when it comes to Libras, the beloved Libras, I probably say beloved because I feel like sometimes I've been picking on Libras like for months with these horoscopes. Let's see if I can go easier on you, Libra. Let's see what comes through. Uranus in Gemini is in your ninth house. So this is where you get to expand the horizons of your beliefs. But here's the cool thing is like, this is the phase where you get to cherry pick beliefs based upon talking to other people and learning about their experiences and like what feels stimulating and like what kind of feels like resonant to you of going, even though it may not be your experience, but it's like someone that you're either close to or, you know, some also just like fucking out of nowhere surprise person. I didn't even like, I knew this person maybe existed, but like all of a sudden now they're telling me this stuff or their life story or whatever. And take what resonates, like cherry pick that and then go, well, maybe I'll go try that. Maybe I'll try that experience. Or like, hey, can I go with you the next time that you do that? Or how did you do that? Like, this is a very curious, like learning state for you, Libra. Like, it's really nice, actually. Like, it's a positive thing as long as like, you're not like so just like gung-ho, like this is my beliefs, this is what I believe in, this is what I don't believe in, you know, two sides of the coin. Uranus is saying like, hey, like maybe just be more inclusive and more neutral and impartial about how you see your experiences. And like even like you could bring up like traumas or like shocking situations or things that it's like, no, that's not the type of surprise that I wanted. Like seeing it as like, how can you still frame it in like a positive mindset? Like keep the facts, like don't just like don't be like the crazy person that like gets handed a story that's been handed down 3 times over, and then you tell a story and then like whether it's yours or someone else's, and now it's not even factual anymore, and it's like you totally like flip the narrative and it doesn't even have the same meaning anymore. So this is definitely about having to pay attention and conversation, because I feel like there's going to be a lot of energy like moving, like crowds of people, big crowds of people could be a lot for you. Having multiple conversations, like group conversations, group calls, group texts, that sort of thing. It could be a lot of energy to like really process. And so your best thing that you could do is just try to be like neutral with all of it and be excited and be like, I'm just happy to be here. I'm learning. This is an experience. Woohoo life, you know, like it's an experience. Like you're getting to like see things that you've never seen before. There's going to be things that are occurring that you've never seen before. These are like, it's like the horizon beyond the horizon that you knew, and then even another layer, you know, right? Like, because ninth house, that brings up this like, yeah, I know that's out there, but I haven't explored it like maybe fully. And so Uranus brings up this new higher, crazier level. It's like, wait, you mean like there's a level 2, there's a level 3 beyond, even higher, wider of what I didn't know? So, because Uranus in the ninth is about its expansion horizontally, but also vertically too. So it's like you could think about it like this, where it's like, yeah, there's a real nature to like wanting to have an abundant experience, like to like feel the abundance like horizontally, like in your like real life and factual, and like wanting to be able to like, you know, make sense of it. But then there's also like the vertical, the spiritual part, the growth, where it's like, hey, like all those experiences, like they're good, like that's not a bad thing. You are also dealing a lot with like relationship people stuff. So go figure, Libra. So it's those retrogrades, those pesky retrogrades, those review periods. It's Saturn, Chiron, Neptune retrograde in Aries, and Mercury retrograde in Leo. And so it's a lot of intense, passionate, like looking at how'd you show up with your relationships and people, whether you're close to them or like more close to them. how do they show up with you? It's kind of like a hangman tarot energy, even though I haven't pulled a card for you yet, but it's like the suspended animation of like looking at it with different angles of how you've dealt with people. And so that's a good thing, because whether it's like past experiences, like with people that you're like, because there's a part of you that's like looking at that. So you got to kind of get like dialed in, like with like how you really think and feel about those situations, because Uranus is all about like ascending, moving forward, the future. It's in your 9th house. And so you need to go have new experiences. And so you can't get like too like stubborn and resistant to situations going on with people, relationships, that you're like resisting like new opportunities that are with familiar people or new people, that's gonna like replace any like woes, sensitive spots, like wounds, like with relationships, like people, situations. And so it's a kind of a weird space, because like you don't need to feel like that you need to like spend all your energy like assessing like the relationship piece and then figure it out and then move forward. Like the evolution is more so like, hey, like you can process the old and figure out better ways to approach things while also going on the new experience. And if anything, your experiences, like with Uranus in the 9th, like who cares if it's like where you're with a person or you're doing it solo or whatever. Like it reminds me of like, well, it sounds kind of weird, but it's like, I don't want to go to that concert alone, or I don't want to go do this thing alone. I want a partner. I want to have my friends or whatever. And it's like, well, do you feel excited and stimulated and curious to go do the thing? And if your like friends like bow out and they don't want to go, or you're single and don't have a partner, your partner doesn't want to go, it's like, will you stop yourself from having good experience? Because that kind of brings up the Aries, like Leo, like control issues that could be coming up with those retrogrades to sort of learn from. So, you know, you can go your own way, Libra. You don't need to be afraid to expand, you know, and it's just like being afraid to change. And it's the crazy thing is like, because it's weird that Gemini is your 9th house, because it's like, this could be like where it's just like little changes and little social situations and circles that feel too much and overwhelming, but it's really not that big of a deal. It's just like the little stuff, but it's like little, it's like too much mental stimulus and for the central nervous system. And so you got to self-regulate for sure around these situations. So we'll pull a card for you. If you want to go deeper than that, Libra, you can drop an emoji, a comment, or message me for a booking link to book a personal astrology reading. Going deeper looks like your natal chart, how the transits are hitting the deeper charts way beyond the sun rising sign horoscope. This is like just the tip. Just the tip. You're the best sign. Well, maybe Scorpio's the best, but you're at least you're first or second best, to use that joke on Libra. Yikes. 2 of Swords. It's the blindfoldedness. It's like, what is it that you're not able to see, Libra? Has there been some fog in your relationships with all that, those retrogrades and Neptune? Ace of Wands. I think, like, I don't really think that it's so much about, like, should I do this or that, or what's going on with this situation, or thinking or going this way. What makes you happy? It's your passion. It's kind of a cliche, but it's like, why don't you just like do the thing that just like lights you up in the moment? Don't maybe worry so much about, because the mind is probably going to try to figure out like more long-term what's going on with these people, this relationships. Is this love? Is it not love? Is this person staying, not staying? Like, should I double down like on this thing, or like where's it going? It's like your passion's gonna let you know. like whether you're connecting or not. Because that's part of Uranus in the night too. It's like you go like with where that fire, passion, and excitement, electrical energy is at. Like, you're not here to understand the exact nature of the long term. You know, it's like you got Jupiter in your 10th house, right? Like, you feel into like where you're going for your long term. It's not about like over calculating it or trying to control it, and because like it gets too overwhelming. So you have to kind of just like take it like one emotion at a time and like feel the passion of these things. So moving on to Scorpios. Scorpio, Uranus, and this is for Scorpio sun and risings. This is Uranus going through your 8th house in Gemini. So it's really interesting because, let's see, you know, like 8th house energy is like, that's you. Like, that's like your house, your jam, you know, the occult, the sexy, the taboo, the hidden. As a Scorpio, so like Uranus here, it's like you can like bring out like your, and as if you needed like more permission, like your kinky side, but like this is like being a little bit more like actually having conversations about it. This brings up your desires, like whatever they are, like talk to people, have conversations about it, you know, be stimulated, like go do the things that you want to do, like invest your energy into conversations with people and connecting with people and tribes and groups and getting familiar with like other people. Like, this is about developing deeper levels of intimacy with people that you're either like close to or want to be close to, but then also like figuring out where the boundaries are of like when to connect and when to disconnect. And so that's a two-way street of a conversation. Like, what are your yeses, your nos, and vice versa for them. And so it's not all like steamy sex stuff, right? But this can also be like the power dynamics of like monetary investments and contracts and, you know, just things like that. Like, it's whatever it is that you're all about. Like, investing your focus, your intention, your energy, it's got to feel like kind of like future oriented though. So it checks a few boxes. It's like, is the passion there? Is it really a true desire? Does it make sense? Does it make sense like for where the world seems to be heading, like the writing's on the wall there, right? Because you don't want to be the Scorpio that's like, why is that person jerking off to dial up porn or whatever? Like, there's this thing now or whatever. But it's like, it's the whole thing about like, it's your power circles, it's connecting with people like that have like a familiar passion, like there's a common passion that is shared, like at least like the thesis of it. It doesn't have to be like the exact same thing, like cut from the exact same like tablecloth, but like there's a similar kind of like groupthink like to it of things. And so it's like going in the direction like where it's people like where they're going, but like it's authentic to you, it's your passion too. It's probably something that you've already been thinking about, that you're already familiar with. It's just about how do you like reach new heights with that, sort of new heights, like be like, hey, this is like what I'm doing now. This is the way that I approach this thing. You know, because Uranus, like going through your 7th house since 2018 and Taurus, like you've been going through the craziest relationship stuff and like trying to find peace and like maybe like what you want or what you think that you want, but then like it could be like changing your mind about, well, no, I want this type of relationship, or no, I think I want this type of relationship. So like now it's like going more into like It's not so much, it could be a relationship, that's part of it, but it's more so like you got to go more for what you really want and be okay with the surprises that come with it. So it's not about trying to like control the outcome of what you're exactly wanting to experience. It's going and like trying it. It's the experiment of it. And it's not like, it's also too like knowing how to like stay stable in the psychology too, like shock, surprises, like, whoa, that was intense moments. Like, is this gonna bring up really intense surprises and shocks in the central nervous system? To like not like find like your center in your mind to like make sure that the truth isn't getting suppressed, the facts of what's like really going on in your situations, like with people. Like, it's being okay with like, okay, this conversation's like kind of uncomfortable and kind of out there and, a little crazy, but like, let's have it anyway to get to the bottom of like what's like really going on. Like, we need to like put our cards on the table. Like, we need to reveal like what are people thinking here? Like, what's the situation? Like, what's actually happening? Like, let's get the data. What's this person think? What's that person think? Because you got to look at like what's weird with Gemini being your 8th house is like there's a couple different sides of truth. So you got to like kind of like look at like both sides and like find like what's the middle ground of like what's really true and real, like in these situations that might sound crazy and hard to figure out, hard to pin down, and it probably will be, but the key is going to be not being afraid, having some valor, having some basically just like bravery to like be like, okay, well, let's talk about this, because there's going to be surprises anyway, but it's like, don't create like more surprises by repressing the information or not having the conversations, and because the things get like really weird and secrets and shit like that. These retrogrades that are in Aries and Leo, this is really all about the reassessment of like your work grind and your career. A lot of this is about like new approaches. I think when you combine it with like looking at this Uranus in your 8th house energy, that it reminds me kind of like a 7 of Pentacles. Like, it's assessing like, am I getting really what I want? Like, am I getting the payout? Has this really been like worth the effort? And the answer is yes, because on like some crazy soul level, like you're having an experience that you're meant to have, where you're like learning something on some level about yourself or a situation, like to own more of your power as a Scorpio. So that's the weird thing. It's like, it's not so much about the results that you've been getting. It's more about like your character growth. But if you're wanting like the better external results, like in your like work, career life and the grind, like go into the subconscious reprogramming, like in your inner world now, like reprogram your mind and get it like dialed in to like, what your mental patterns are, and what your boundaries are, and how to like not go into these like crazy directions that are outside the boundaries of your goals and your work and what you're committed to and what actually makes sense for you. So I'll pull a card for you, Scorpio. If you want to go deeper than that, you can shoot me a message, drop a comment, an emoji. I'll send you a booking link, astrology reading, to go deeper into what's up for you, what you're wanting to work on in life. That's nice, Scorpio. You sure that's for you? Like, Scorpio rules the darkness. This is the sun card. No, I think it's good, Scorpio. I think the happiness, the vitality, that innocence, that youthfulness, the stability of just like going and shining and doing things like I have a client who's a Scorpio, and it's like that was a conversation today, you know, it was like, hey, like you got to go do things that feel fun and passionate, like, because you're in that phase where it's like, yeah, it's a lot of work, career, responsibilities that you most definitely got to keep up with. But it's also like the fun and the enthusiasm and the youthfulness of things. And so that's the nice thing about Uranus in your eighth house and Gemini. It's like, have fun. Like, it's definitely saying have fun. And the nice thing is the eighth house is like, have fun in the Scorpio way. It doesn't have to be like some perfect, wholesome like way of doing it. Like, you get to have your edge, like have fun in like your edgy way, like because the thing that you really want with Uranus in your eighth and Gemini is like you want to do the edgy stuff with people, right? There's like some bond there, where even if it's just the bond over like talking about what's going on in the world, or just like conversations and you know, and that are private, like even if it's just something basic like that, like you get to have that. Like, you don't have to shy away from like that fun, that stimulus. And so it's like the edge can just be whatever it is. Those, like, people will let you know if you're being a weirdo. They're gonna be like, you're fucking being creepy, like that's a little too out there for me, or that's a little that's crossing a boundary for me. It's like, oh, okay, cool, you know, I tested it out, I said the thing, I threw, you know, pasta at the wall, that was too much. And so like, it's really where like the people want to do stuff like with you, that's the right amount of edge. Like, that's the not getting too crazy or too far out there where it's like people don't even want to do it. So that's where your fun and the love lies. Moving on to Sagittarius. So Gemini is your seventh house, your relationships. It's the opposite of you. And so Uranus being here, I think, is a good thing, Sag, because you can really invite in some, like, I think a lot of this is like top shelf, maybe like relationships, like people that maybe you knew about, but you haven't connected with fully. And so those can come in. But also, this could be like new approaches, like to your current relationships, the people that you're already familiar with. But it's a two-way street. You got to have these diplomatic conversations like with people to find out like where they're at, because it might surprise you, like, oh, actually this person wants to do this, like I thought I knew how they think and they actually want to go do this different thing. Or, oh, I thought that it was this way with these people that I hadn't like really connected with fully, but like now I'm finding out about, oh, like they're actually more, you know, they're cooler than I thought. I thought they were like all this like crazy thing, and like they're, or, you know, like literally crazy, but like actually they're okay. Like they're my kind of crazy. Like they fit. Like we can hang out together. There's peace, there's balance like there. So, but the communication piece is going to be the most important part, like of this transit for you. And so like this month, it's like, it's being okay with like getting your like crazier like ideas that maybe like aren't so crazy, like, and like talking about them, because it might seem like to you it was like crazy because like you've been trying to figure out how to like build it or whatever. You're out, it's going through your 6 of Taurus, and now it's about, well, let me just like talk with people about it and see. And it's like, you know, how are they responding to it? You know, if they're kind of like backing away, and it's like, oh, you know, the seesaw is like tipping too far that way, or this is creating tension, or this is creating too much conflict, like this is creating issues, then it's like, cool, there's your feedback. But it's a fun and exciting time, even like with the retrogrades in Aries and Leo. Like, this is about fun. This is about looking at the places where you can have more fun in life. Like, you don't have to take yourself like so seriously. Like, I know you know a lot, and you got a lot of ground to cover, Sag, but it's like, just be okay with the youthfulness, like, of having fun. And so the Uranus piece of it in your 7th house is saying, like, hey, you can experience, like, people wanting to, like, have fun with you, and maybe they're kind of showing you how to have fun. Or it's like, you know, hey, jump on my back for a second, I'll show you how to have fun. So it's like, you're here to, like, create more of, like, this, like, sociable, like, fun atmosphere. Like, it's almost like part of your job is to, like, remind the world, like, it's not all that bad. Like, let me show you, like, look, we get to like create some of our own experiences. Like, it doesn't have to be this, like, crazy monotonous, like, thing where, you know, we just believe that this is the experience that, like, everyone's having. Like, you're a Sag, you know how to, like, create your own experience and bring people in. And so the nice thing is that I think you can connect with people from different, like, walks of life, but it's kind of, like, weird because you might kind of attract the same, like, type of person, but there's going to be, like, other layers of things you didn't know about them that want to, like, emerge forward. So it's like staying curious, it's staying open-minded and having the conversations, like, with people in that way, because I think that that's what's going to help you generate opportunities, you know, whether it's, like, financial or health related, just, like, whatever things that it is that you're valuing right now, Sag. So really positive time. I'm not too worried about this transit for you. You know, it is lots of people situations, lots of people, and there's no doubt about it. But it's like being okay with taking breaks too, like taking breaks from social media, breaks from talking with people, breaks from listening to people. Like, just remember, like, there is a such thing as, like, too much of that, and you don't want to, like, lose your peace, because it's like, well, I'm excited, you know? And so, like, I want to do, like, more of it. I want to, like, keep, like, going. Like, it's just, it's fun, it's stimulating, it's my dopamine hit. But then it would be like having a great conversation, but it's like you have it right before bed, and now you're, like, wound up, and, like, now you, like, you don't feel like sleeping. So it's just kind of like paying attention to, like, those outer limits, like, too, of, like, yeah, fun, stimulus, go do cool shit, but, like, how do you still stay in balance, like, too, to see that there's going to always be another perspective. And even just, like, being the diplomat in the room, like, sometimes, like, your version of fun is, like, maybe not, like, theirs, you know? So it takes two to tango, and, like, to keep the balance, like, with those situations. And just, it's just a lot of open communication. It's like no secrets, no stone unturned. Timing is things, Sag. Pull a card for you. If you want to go deeper than that, you can book a personal astrology reading. Comment below, emoji below, or message me. You got the Tower? That's intense. This major arcana card of the Tower transformation. So I think you're in a space, Sag, of actually learning to be a little bit more selfless. Might sound kind of weird, but it's not really about, like, being on, like, a power trip or, like, the tower that you're building. It is the South Node in your 10th house. So, you know, your personal care, like, making sure that, like, you're okay with the transformation that you're going through, right? And so the fun piece is kind of like the, well, sometimes when you're feeling like shit's getting fucking intense, that you need to, like, control it more. You gotta, like, fix it or whatever it is. And it's like, sometimes you just gotta be like, okay, whatever, the roof's on fire. Like, I'm still having fun. Like, you've got people's situations, you got supports from people. Like, that's not the issue. So it's like, feels like being okay, Sag. Like if you need to grieve or you need to do this, you got to take care of this thing in yourself, fine. There will be people in relationships to like help you pick up the slack. Like you don't have to lead it all. Like it's okay to like let the tower fall. That, you know, it's like living in a 6-story, you know, building and then having like clean it all yourself or do all the duties or whatever. And it's like you can't keep up with it. It's like let it fall. Like allow yourself to be supported. Capricorn. Well, Capricorn, I hope you're ready to get busy. I mean, Capricorns tend to like to work, but I hope you're ready for the busyness of Uranus in your 6th house in Gemini, because it's leaving your 5th, so blah, 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 2018, you know, love situations, maybe they came and went, or just like different approaches to love, your inner child work, your like different ways of connecting with your kids, projects, creativity, the whole 9 yards of trying to be your best self. But like now it's Uranus coming into your 6th house. And so this is where you have to be fucking excited about what you're doing every day. If you have a belief system that is like just fixated on this is how I see things, or like life's not great or life's great or whatever it is, like that can kind of fuck you over, because it's more so about like who cares like what the experiences that you've had or the beliefs. It's more just like, you know, you probably got some cool stuff that you want to fuck around with and just like make your day like more exciting. So this is the time to do it. You had Jupiter going through your 6th house in Gemini for the past year. And so you were already expanding and kind of getting used to like the busyness. And so it kind of like stretched you a little bit. So that's a good thing. So like now Uranus is kind of here to like not so much expand, but maybe even like condense a little bit of like focus on like things that are fun, stimulating, exciting. Like I'm saying, like it's like that's really your litmus test. Sure, does it need to make sense? Do you need to be solution oriented, problem solving, supportive, service based? Yeah. And it's like being okay as a Capricorn, like with that, of going, you know, like I don't have to like be domineering and have it all figured out. Like I can be supportive, I can help out like a common cause. And so it's like kind of like this thing where it's like some of the excitement and stimulation is literally just going to be okay with being in like more of a supportive role or nature and just like showing up like in that way. You know, this deals with, I would say, like acts of service for sure. I want to go so far as to say like selfless acts of service. Like there has to kind of like, it has to like make sense. Like you are a Capricorn, you know, like you're the king of monetary gains. Like it's got like, there's got to be something in it, you know, that's like building things like going forward. But I think Uranus in the 6th is a godsend for you, because like the ball's in your court about the activities that you do day to day and whether or not you're enjoying life. Because the challenge with the retrogrades in Aries and Leo is this brings up personal challenges. This is 4th house, 8th house energy. It's like things that are more personal to you, more private, more hidden. Like it's like only you know about it. Like no one knows about it unless you like really kind of like bring it up or like bring it to the table. And so this is the good reassessment time for like, don't hide that stuff, like talk about it, but also like, it's like not dwelling on it too. Like it defines you as like your character, because Uranus is over here saying like, I can break you out of that rut, you know, like you don't have to like feel stuck and feel like a rock sinking to the bottom of the ocean, you know, like it's more like be light, be the pebble, be the pebble that skips across the water, you know, find some, this is about finding some pep in your step. So you're tasked with like whatever it is, like job, career stuff, whatever it is, blah, blah, blah. Like you have to be able to be excitable. Like the job needs to be somewhat exciting, or at least you got to find a new approach and a revolutionary mindset to kind of rebel and like do something different. So it's like, you know, if I don't know, if you're a fucking UPS driver, it's like wear the fucking cool hat or the cool vest, or do like to get away with what you can get away with. And so it's like if you don't like your work or job situation like anyway, and it's not even like really abundant, like be okay with like pushing the edges like a little bit, like the rebellious like nature of it, so that you could at least like generate some electricity, some excitement, some enthusiasm for what it is that you're doing. Because Uranus in the 6th in Gemini, like the flip of it is like the electricity's off and I'm not feeling it, and this like doesn't feel good. And it's like one of those things where it's like, all right, well, what do you do? You know, you just like you can't like wait to get to like that activity that you are excited about. Like I can't wait to get to 4 o'clock, you know, because that's my part of my routine of the day where I can finally be free and do what I want to do and I'm away from work. It's like, I guess that can't work, but that's stressful as fuck. And the problem is you're not even going to be able to enjoy the thing that you really want to do at the end of the day, because you've got so much pent up energy that's not being released and not being excited, and it causes stress. And so then it's almost like you're trying to regulate your stress in your central nervous system, like through doing the thing that you enjoy. And so it's like actually dealing with the backlog of like not enjoying your day-to-day life. So you're tasked with trying to figure out, doesn't matter, it's like the 9 to 5 thinking, or how, like when your day starts, like it's your whole rhythm and your whole routine that you're figuring out. And this does bring up health too. So it's like just being mindful about what, you know, the basics, what are you putting in your body, you know. Honestly, this is a good time with like just thinking about like maybe don't eat the same thing everyone else is eating just because it's the trend, or doing the same workout that everyone's doing or exercise thing because that's what other people are doing. This is a good time. It's like find your rhythm, find your uniqueness. What feels like fit and healthy for you, you know, mentally, especially physically, but also spiritually too. So you can become the trendsetter and like, hey, this is what I do for my exercise, or like this is what I eat, and like this is how I do, and this is how my thinking is. And so there's like a positive thing of that, and you can even find like a good like thing with that. So yeah, just lots of breathing too, Capricorn, like Uranus in the 6th. Like anytime I see Uranus in the 6th, I'm always like, use your breath to regulate your central nervous system, because it's all about 6th house is like where the present moment is at, and the breath drops is in the present moment, but Uranus is the central nervous system. So it's like it's being okay with like sensing electrically what's going through you and your mind and how it connects to the central nervous system, the limbic system, and stress and all of it, to be mindful about what's going on and see a higher perspective of that stuff. So if you want to go deeper than that, Capricorn, drop an emoji, a comment, send me a message. I'll send you a booking link for a reading. Let's see what you got card-wise. Caps. You can come out of your rut if you want, Capricorns, but it's up to you. You got free will. Well, you got the Queen of Wands in reverse. So it's a tough thing because it's Pluto retrograde in your 2nd, self-worth, and then even the confidence piece of all those retrogrades in Aries, Chiron, Saturn, Neptune in your 4th. So I know it can feel like a sinking feeling of like you got so much energy at the bottom of the chart. Maybe it's like you're wanting to be more private, not so sociable or extroverted, or you don't know your worth, your passion. Some of this, like I think, is like the Queen of Wands, it's like, own the shadow part of it. Like, it's not perfect, cool, whatever. Like, talk about it. You know, like, feel your best, your worth, like, cool, talk about it. Like, get support from people. Uranus in the 6th house in Gemini. Like, you don't always have to be the one bearing the weight of the responsibility. It's okay to like be supported on what you need to be healthy and to feel good about your worth and what you're doing and creating. So, Aquarius. This is Uranus going through your 5th house, Aquarius. So passion, love, creativity, excitement. Woo! This is about different new innovative approaches to love. This is honestly finding a love language that you didn't know that you had. I think it starts with self-love. I think it's like radical self-love, crazy ways of like, I would even say that's like making love to yourself, your fucking avatar, like, you know, doing fun, exciting things that are resemblant of actions of self-love. It's, you know, even basic levels like mirror work, looking at yourself in the mirror and practicing love there. And like, because you need like the more spiritual, innovative ways to deal with like love, passion, situations, but you got to get familiar with like what that feels like and almost kind of like role play it and go through the experience as if it was real. Like, it's being okay with like rehearsals too. Like, if there's something that feels like that, maybe there's a little bit of like stress or anxiety and it feels performative, like in a situation that you're passionate about, or like a love situation, or a situation with kids, creativity, role playing, running the experiment before like it's real. Maybe even like tricking your mind into like, oh, this isn't real, but then you do it and it's like, wow, that was really great. But you were just being authentic. You were just like, things just like kind of clicked, right? So it's a situation where it's positive. But what's weird is like Uranus like prefers more to be in an 11th house, kind of. So in the 5th house, it's not bad. It's more just like, for you, it could feel a little bit like whatever your kingdom is, like that you're familiar with, like your usual environments. This is my kingdom. This is how I keep my stuff. This is how I organize things, or this is where I put things, my home, all this. And then like there's like wild sweeping change that wants to come in and release like the grip on that familiarity and changes it, or like people coming into your kingdom that's like, wait, how'd this person get in here? Or like changes that you couldn't have expected. They kind of like force you like out of like your familiar comfort zone, and so like there's a sense of courage like to do it. So this brings up trying new approaches that allow you to be more brave and courageous, and like it's going to require that like passion to like go, oh shit, like yeah, there's always things that I thought that I wanted to do or that I romanticize, and it's almost like weird because it's like romanticizing things right under your nose, you know, like it's kind of weird like that, Aquarius. And so Uranus, your ruling planet, is kind of like saying like, go for it, like run the experiment, who cares, like you're weird anyway, like go and like try and do the thing with like love, or what feels like love and passion and life, and like get more familiar with it, and then look at it in all the crazy like different ways. So it's like if you're in a romantic partnership, it's like, what are the different ways that I can show love to my partner, you know, or different acts of service to your kids, or just, you know, there's just all these just different trial periods of like passion and excitement. I think the negative would just be like, it's like disconnecting from the heart. It's being aloof. It's being aloof to love. It's being like cold or like distant, because, you know, it reminds me of like an anxious avoidant mindset attachment, where it's like just disconnecting. All of a sudden, it's like heart opening, heart closing, one side or the other. So Uranus will produce those unpredictable situations to help you evolve and find the love in life that like really means something to you and is of value to you. It will introduce those crazy circumstances. And so it's like, if you're the Aquarius, it's like, yeah, I don't date or I don't love. It's like, whoa, just like, wait, that person shows up and you couldn't have predicted it. Or it could even be like, yeah, my romance is good. You know, we've been together 30 years. And then all of a sudden it's like something changes and it's like, whoa, we got to figure this thing out now. And I'm not saying like it's like divorce or breakup, but it's like, it's surprises and connections and disconnections that maybe come back together, but like have to evolve and change in love situations, like romantically. It's just, it's a thing. You know, ask any Capricorn, you know, because they had Uranus in the 5th since 2018. So the retrogrades for you in Aries and Leo are dealing very much with like communication, right? This is about driving your points home, getting your point across. So there's definitely an assertive nature in reviewing how you can be better, more diligent, more in integrity and effective, authentic with saying what you really think and feel, what's really on your heart, and getting all three of those things like dialed in, because that will drive your point home like more effectively. And so I wouldn't really sweat this month, Aquarius, because it's like you've already got Pluto in your sign. Is retrograde, so you're recalibrating, rehashing kind of like this understanding of what it means to be you, what it means to be human, but a human that's really a fucking alien because you're an Aquarius. And, you know, with Uranus like being in the 5th and Pluto in Aquarius, which Uranus is home at, it's kind of like becoming the best, highest like version of you. I think it's a little bit on hold this month, but it's okay. It's on ice. It's not going anywhere. So if it feels like you're like, I don't know, it might sound intense, but like losing a limb or something, like, because it's Pluto going through your sign, it's intense. Like, it's going to be okay. You just have to be okay with like showing up in the strength of your voice and what you can get across and communicate on. If you've got to like fix some things that maybe you slipped on or feel like you fucked up on or could do a better job, you just fix it. You deal with it. It's okay. You know, especially like, yeah, relationships, but also like love situations, kid situations, that sort of thing. Let's pull a card. And if you want to go deeper than that, Aquarius, drop a emoji, comment, or message me for a booking link for a personal astrology reading. We'll look at the natal chart, the deeper chart layers, how the transits are hitting, more unique to your situation, the challenges that you're going through, and how to grow from those and evolve and create. How about that? The Lover's card. Your 5th house. What do you got to worry about, Aquarius? Like, you know, I will tell you as a Capricorn that had Pluto going through my rising sign, like it was Pluto in the rising for Capricorns, but then they had Uranus in the 5th. And so like that's what you're like getting now. It's tough, it's not easy, but there's an ask to rise higher. Like, what is there really a higher thing to rise to than like love and union? Because finding that masculine with feminine balance, if you want to call it that, or love, or just even how it's like, I think it's like Archangel Raphael, like usually in the tarot, where you're bringing in like a higher love to situations where it's like, sure, like sometimes like things are hard, or sometimes things suck, or it requires a lot of bravery, but like that's keeping the heart open. That's love. So whether it's like an actual love situation or something you're just committed to yourself, your own personal, spiritual growth, social growth, like whatever it is, like bring the love. Like you know how to bring love in like a different, crazier way, Aquarius, than any other like zodiac sign that like looks different. So bring that. Finally, we got Pisces. So Pisces, this is Uranus going through Gemini in your 4th house. So your home life, personal life, your emotions, boo. You're a Pisces, just kidding, but kind of not really. Uranus in your 4th brings up the unpredictability of your emotions, which it's kind of like, well, wait, maybe that you feel that way already, right? Because being a Pisces, it's like the highs and the lows of your sensitivities and the high emotions, the low emotions, the sensitivities. But now Uranus in the 4th like deals more with like not so much the hidden chaos, the iceberg effect of what underneath in your subconscious and emotionally sensitively. This is about Uranus in the 4th in Gemini going like, hey, like, yes, you're going to be thinking about like crazy, emotionally intense, mental, emotional things in your personal life, but it's like, maybe like slow down and see that like you don't have to like force change or force chaos to get to like more of an emotionally stable place. Like you're already going to be experiencing a lot of change like personally on a mental, emotional level, and like kind of like bridging those two together and how that could show up like in family situations and things of that nature. So really it's more about like the innovation in your self-care. Like do you have like contingency plans for when you're not feeling your best, when you're having a day where your mood's not the best, the day didn't start that good, or it's like waking up on the wrong side of the bed, or your mental outlook doesn't feel positive. It's like, it could be like, oh, I saw this thing in the news, or this person said that thing, womp womp. So what are the things that you could do that are new, unique, innovative for like taking care of yourself, where it's like your personal care, your protection, your safety, and emotions are paramount. And like literally, like the zenith, the paramount energy is like what's going on in your personal life, this could be conversations like where hopefully most of them are comfortable and you can just like have a two-way street and talk about anything under the sun that you need to talk about, like home life, personal life, family, just people that come in like that feel like family, or at least like you feel that safety and trust like with them in that way. But also the uncomfortable conversations too, Pisces, where it's like this part of Uranus is kind of like almost like randomly like wanting to sniff out maybe the emotions that kind of like were too subtle to notice, and to like feel those and experience those in a crazy way, or even to just like ride the emotional wave to like showing you like a higher vibrational like mindset that could actually like lift your mood. So your best friend, your BFF, like during this phase is like how to be okay with like experiencing like the emotions of just what's like showing up, like the current in your face, like circumstance, like that's your evolution now. Like it's just through the feeling sensation of it and going on this crazy magic carpet ride, holographic reality, find your fucking spiritual avatar, be Neo, be a hero, be whatever the things, are like your own like superhero like version of yourself, is just going through the emotions. The retrogrades in Aries and Leo this month deal with the kind of like, I would say it's more like your work, like, but is it like quality work, or does it feel like shit, like bullshit? Like it's kind of a tough thing, because like you're kind of like got to go into an assessment phase of like are you getting paid what you're worth? Like, is your job valuing you? Do you value it? Like, are you spending quality hours, like doing things that are actually creative, that you enjoy, that feel like love, because Uranus in your fourth in Gemini is going to be like picking apart all the like facts in your life and showing you where you're like actually not comfortable. And so it's like getting more comfort by, it's not so much like taking a risk as it is just like kind of a crazy self-belief in you of knowing that you can soar. Like, it's not like, yeah, sure, meet your basic needs, like take care of stuff, like do your work or whatever, but like how can you also expand and like do better and like see that like you probably have more energy than you think and more time in the day than maybe what you think. And so it's like you can pad your foundation by this evolutionary like spiritual growth by being like, let me check the facts. How much time am I actually spending working, sleeping, doing these things? How much time am I spending on social media, on the phone? There's things here around like maximizing your output, strategies of like divine timing, of like when you do things throughout the day. These are all things to like be reflecting on, like where can I rise up? Where can I do better? And it's just like kind of more of a fact-checking thing to it. And you'll feel better because of it. Like life will start to feel more quality in that way, Pisces. So pull a card for you. If you want to go deeper than that, Pisces, drop a emoji, a comment, or message me for astrology booking link for a private reading to go deeper into what's really going on in life and any stuckness, getting through challenges, getting to where you want to go. Card flew out. The Judgment card. So, rise up, Pisces. I think you got more spirit, more energy, more spiritual fight in you, but even like the flight, like let your spirit take flight, like rise up, do it, like the trumpet horns, like what is it that you value personally? Like, because that's really what matters. Like, that's what I think you're meant to show people right now. It's just like how to value things on like more of a personal level, with all those retrogrades and Aries in your second. And I feel like I drew another card for you as the King of Wands, but in reverse. So it's like, I feel like just stop doing shit that you're just not really passionate about. It's just causing delays anyways. So, and it may not seem like it is, like, oh, I only did it for a minute, or I only helped that person for a minute even though I didn't want to, or I only like looked at that social media thing for a second. It's like there's an opportunity cost that's like greater than maybe what you can see and sense. And so that's like what in your personal feels in your mind is like trying to kind of like surprise you with, and like subtle little like shocks of like, hey, like actually, like here's how you feel when you connect to this frequency and this energy. Like it matters. Like it has kind of a butterfly effect to it. So that's a wrap for July. All 12 signs, sun rising. Appreciate you all. Feel free to share this with a friend, a colleague, your family, people that want readings, want to do coaching, want to do the higher self coaching. Hit me up. These are remarkable times. I mean, I'll be stressing this in other horoscopes, but it doesn't really get more zenith than this. I mean, 2027 is really the true zenith, but like this is the zenith of like get good positioning, get a good front row seat. So the beauty that's coming these next couple of years, go through it, be brave. You'll feel better for having done it.